Everyone is talking about power in Beauty and Black, but they are all looking in the wrong direction, because the most dangerous person in this entire story is not loud, not emotional, and not even trying to prove anything. It's Mallory, and the scariest part is that she doesn't need to win, because she already has. In most stories, power is obvious. You see it in people who fight harder, speak louder, or dominate others through force. But Beauty and Black doesn't work like that. Here, power hides beneath the surface. It moves quietly, it builds slowly, and it reveals itself only when it's already too late to stop it. That's exactly why Mallory stands out in such a dangerous way, because while everyone else is reacting to situations, getting emotional, making quick decisions, and trying to survive moment to moment, Mallory is never reacting. She is observing everything from a distance, understanding it, analyzing it, and most importantly, controlling it. Mallory is not just another powerful character in the Ballaire Empire, she is the structure that holds it together. While others are fighting for position, recognition, or control, she already operates from a place where those things are not even questioned. The Empire doesn't move without decisions, and those decisions don't exist without her influence. This is what separates her from everyone else, because she is not climbing to power like others, she is already sitting at the top, and from that position, she doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. That level of quiet dominance is what makes her so dangerous, because people often underestimate what they don't fully understand. Most people confuse power with control, but the truth is they are completely different things. Power is something people can see. It is loud, aggressive, and often temporary because it depends on constant action and constant defense. Control, on the other hand, is something you rarely notice until it's too late. Control doesn't need attention, it doesn't need validation, and it doesn't need to be visible. Mallory doesn't operate through power, she operates through control, and that changes everything about how she plays the game. When someone is chasing power, they are exposed, they are vulnerable, and they can be challenged. But when someone controls the system itself, they are almost untouchable because they are not part of the game. They are the reason the game exists. One of the most important things to understand about Mallory is the way she thinks. Her biggest strength is not just her position or her influence, it is her mindset. She does not think like everyone else. Where others react emotionally, she stays calm. Where others rush into decisions, she waits. Where others panic under pressure, she calculates every possible outcome before making a move. This ability to stay emotionally detached gives her a massive advantage because she is never blinded by fear, anger, or desperation. Instead, she sees people clearly for who they are, including their weaknesses, their patterns, and even their fears. Once she understands someone on that level, she doesn't need to confront them directly because she already knows how they will act in almost any situation. That means she can predict their decisions before they even make them. And when you can predict someone's decisions, you don't need to fight them. You simply guide them into situations where their own choices lead to their downfall. This is where Mallory becomes truly dangerous, because she doesn't rely on direct conflict. She doesn't rush to eliminate threats or prove dominance through force. Instead, she plays a much longer and more calculated game. She allows situations to develop naturally. She allows people to rise, to gain confidence, and even to believe they're becoming powerful. On the surface, it may look like she is doing nothing, but in reality, she is letting the situation reach a point where one single move can change everything. The concept of timing is something Mallory understands better than anyone. Most people believe that winning requires acting quickly, taking control early, and overpowering others before they become a threat. Mallory completely rejects that idea. She knows that acting too early can expose weaknesses, create unnecessary resistance, and limit future options. Instead, she waits patiently, watching everything unfold, allowing others to reveal their intentions, their strengths, and even their flaws. By the time she decides to act, she is not guessing, she is executing a plan that has already been carefully built over time. This raises a very important and slightly disturbing question. What if the events we are watching are not as random as they seem? What if the conflicts, the tension, and the shifting power between characters are not simply happening on their own? What if they are being influenced, shaped, or even guided by someone who understands the entire system at a deeper level? If Mallory truly sees everything, understands everyone, and predicts their actions, then it is not unrealistic to consider the possibility that she is not reacting to events at all. Instead, she may be creating the conditions that lead to those events in the first place. If that is true, then it changes everything about how we understand the story. It means that what looks like chaos might actually be structure, what feels like unpredictability might actually be design, and what appears to be independent decisions might actually be part of a larger plan. In that kind of scenario, the characters are not fully in control of their own paths because their choices are being shaped by circumstances that were already influenced ahead of time. Another reason why Mallory feels so unbeatable is because she does not rely on risk in the same way others do. Most characters take risks because they have no other option. They act based on hope, desperation, or the belief that things might work out in their favor. Mallory doesn't operate on hope. She operates on certainty. By the time she makes moves, she has already analyzed the situation from multiple angles, considered different outcomes, and chosen the path that gives her the highest level of control. This approach makes her actions feel almost inevitable because they are not based on chance, they are based on preparation. This also means that defeating someone like Mallory is extremely difficult because traditional methods don't work against her. You can't outplay someone who doesn't expose themselves, you can't predict someone who is already predicting you, and you can't force a mistake from someone who doesn't act until they are absolutely sure of the result. This creates a situation where Mallory is not just strong, but fundamentally difficult to challenge on any level. The most unsettling part of all of this is the possibility that Mallory's control goes beyond situations and extends into people themselves, not in an obvious or direct way, but in a subtle and psychological way. By understanding people deeply, by influencing the environments they operate in, and by guiding them into specific circumstances, she can shape their decisions without them even realizing it. This kind of control is far more powerful than direct authority because it doesn't feel like control at all. It feels like freedom, even though the outcome has already been determined. When someone believes they are making their own choices, they don't question the path they are on. They follow it naturally, step by step, decision by decision, without realizing that each step is leading them exactly where someone else wants them to go. If Mallory is operating at that level, then she is not just controlling outcomes, she is controlling the journey itself. This brings us to the most important realization. Mallory is not dangerous because she is aggressive, loud, or unpredictable. She is dangerous because she is patient, calculated, and almost invisible in the way she operates. She doesn't need attention to exist, she doesn't need validation to be real, and she doesn't need to prove itself through constant action. And if everything we are seeing is truly part of her design, then the story we think we are watching might not be about who will win at all. Because the truth is, the winner may have already been decided long before the game even began. And if that's true, then no one in Beauty in Black was ever really in control.